He can join in when he gets here, can't he?
Right, okay, have we got an agenda, Trish?
We
always has an agenda.
We'll just talk until he gets here.
Okay, mate.
Oh, he's signed in.
Here we go.
So we could always just. You're waiting for him to
Have you
ask.
sent him an invite?
I'm just waiting for him to ask.
And the link.
Fucking hell. You know he's going to need one, isn't he? I'm going to have to send it straight away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Fucking hell. I mean, how do we end up with the divvy like that, eh?
Did we all watch the City game the other night? Fantastic game of football. Fantastic game of football. I want to see the Man City Liverpool final, to be honest with you.
Do you?
But come here, what do you think about... Do you not think that Madrid will never play that bad again in the first half?
No, they're shite, mate.
Possibly. I don't think they're a great side. I think they've got a few really good players. But I don't think they're a very good side. Is he in?
Yeah. We're just waiting for him to figure out how to switch.
Yeah, mate.
Hey.
Ah, there he is. The man they couldn't hang. He's on.
They should do a better job of it.
How are you doing, Abed?
I'm good, mate. How are you, Bill?
I'm alright. I'm not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Hey, Abed.
How you doing, guys? Who's that?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Hey, pal.
What, mate?
Y'all keeping well?
Yes, mate. You?
Yeah. All good, brother.
Oh, good man. I'm stoked that everybody's here. That's great. Been a while.
Yay!
Hey, Billy, you're a brave man.
Yes, mate.
Three Liverpool fans and one Evertonian. Whoa. How's your health, Bill?
Not bad. It hasn't been great, I must be honest. I'm diabetic now, and it's caused a few problems. But I'm getting there. You know what I mean? So
you got a few restrictions, right? Dietary wise, etc.
Yeah. I don't always live up to them, but I'm giving it a go.
Yeah, but you're respecting. You are cutting down and everything, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only drinking once a day now.
I only drink when Everton lose.
So you're drinking all the time.
You're still making those pizzas?
Bro, how you doing, mate?
Hey, how are you, mate?
All good, pal. All good. Congratulations on the nuptials.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Commiserations.
I had no
Has
idea
she-
what's going on.
Has she used your balls as bookends yet?
Well, they're getting busted every day, so.
Or generally just using your balls.
She's busting them every day, so it's all good.
Yeah, that sounds right.
How long's it been now, Rob?
What are we now? Almost 2.5 months.
So you're a bitch already then, yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely a bitch.
Join the club, mate. Should we get going, let's start up, lads?
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Give me the countdown, Trish.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Howdy, pod lovers, and welcome to the anticipated return of the infamous, unheralded, and let's face it, least subscribed podcast ever, the See You Next Thursday podcast. We've been on a bit of a hiatus, but we're back, refreshed, recharged, and looking to put a bit of cheer into your lives. So without further ado, let's get it on. Something Ed001 hasn't done in a long time. So on the panel today, we have Tristan, Ed001, who's joining us from Manila because there's no extradition treaty between the UK and the Philippines. we have Ed's Billy025, who's writing a love letter to Rafa Benitez as I speak. We have Barry from Laos, who's a beloved poster from the Liverpool Rumours page. See, Barry, I went easy on you.
Wait, what? Sorry, you've got him mixed up with someone.
And last but not least, we have Rob, aka Sky Saleh from the Liverpool Rumours page, who is talking to us all the way from Australia, which is a land somewhere far away that time and culture forgot. All right, lads, welcome back to the See You Next Thursday podcast. It's a real pleasure to be doing this again. It's been a long time. Excuse me. How is everyone?
Yeah, I'm good.
Very good.
I was better until we started talking to you. That's ruined it now.
I'm sure, yeah. How's your new life in the Philippines, mate?
I love it here, mate. It's great. Everyone's so helpful. I was saying to the lads on here before we were just warming up, they just literally, people come around and bring me food all the time. I haven't had to cook or buy anything to eat at all, nothing. They just bring you food round and then they start cleaning. It's like, what are you doing? I'm not complaining, like, I've not done any washing up, I've not done anything. It's like, but it's
the
like...
exact opposite of marriage then.
It's, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So where you living? What you doing? What's your day-to-day routine?
Day-to-day routine is get woken up early by someone bringing me breakfast, depending on who it is this time. Yeah, and then eat that, go back to sleep until someone brings me lunch.
So no chance of doing any editing or anything?
Well, I do a bit of editing, obviously, but well, at that time, it's like dead, because it's like, you got to remember, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's...
Where are you living, mate?
Quezon City.
Yeah.
It looks, I'm on the edge of a shanty town. I'm pretty much on the edge of what's a shanty town, basically. It is a bit of a shanty town.
Didn't you say you've got wild snakes and monkeys running around?
There's wild monkeys running around, yeah, but there's a guy who wanders around with a snake round his neck all day. I don't know why, but yeah, it's pretty. They seem to have parties all the time, fiestas going on constantly and stuff during the day. I tell you what, you wouldn't know there's a pandemic on apart from everyone's walking around with a mask on, because there's just the streets are full of people, kids and that playing out and that.
But you still got a mask mandate there?
Yeah, it's really strict here.
It's not strict in England at the moment. No one's wearing them.
I miss it.
Very few.
I miss it.
Very few.
I really miss it when I was because there you didn't have to think about grabbing a mask. It's like you go around, because my friends here, they've just the daughter's just had a little baby, like, that I go around to see, because like it's like a daughter, like a niece to me, like. So I go to see it, but you have to remember every time to grab a mask on the way out, and I'm normally halfway there before I think, oh shit, I have to run back and grab one.
Yeah. I think we've just got to learn to live with it, really, haven't we, with the pandemic. And it's going to be like that for a while. It's just got to live with it.
Rob, Bill, what's been going on with your life since we last spoke?
I've been swearing a lot and watching Everton.
We'll get to that later, Billy.
Got 3 million in his swear box.
Bazza, how are you doing, mate?
Barry, are you with us?
I was going to say, I heard Billy's swear box is paying for the next shuttle mission to Mars, like.
I've heard Billy's swear box is paying for Klopp's new contract. Rob, tell me all about yourself, mate. How's married life?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously a lot different than it was before. So
yeah, you're getting no sex.
Yeah, big changes. Moved into our own place. working non-stop.
Congratulations, mate.
Holidays, so yeah, it's been good.
Bro, Bazza, where you at? Nope, Bazza's gone.
Where is Bazza? What's he done? Has he probably muted himself this time? You didn't hear it, did you? When we were in the build-up, he was saying, I can't hear Tristan. Can't hear Tristan at all. He was just saying that like we were trying to have a conversation, and he couldn't hear me. He could hear everyone else. I said to him, I think you must, say he must have me muted, but it's half an hour before he figured out he had me muted. Like,
mate, he still listens to Shawani Wadi. So give him a break.
Yeah, so do you.
Should we get potty, lads?
Yeah, we're already waiting for you to start it. You're in charge, mate.
All right, mate. I was going to start the pod with the sad news that super agent Mino Raiola has passed away, but he put out a tweet on his deathbed, so...
yeah, to say he's not his deathbed.
Yeah, exactly. So we just wish him a speedy recovery. All right. We're going to get on to talking about Liverpool later, but Liverpool fans have had the best news they could possibly imagine today, that Jurgen Norbert Klopp has signed a 2-year extension and will be at Liverpool, and will be a Liverpool manager for another 4 seasons. I'd like to go to Billy and get your third.
And what's the good news? What's the good news, Evan?
Frank Lampard said he's going to stay as long as him.
I love it. Okay, I wanted to get your thoughts first of all, mate. What does everybody think about that? Listen, it's the best possible news, right? You can't get better than that.
Is that confirmed?
That's pretty much, yeah. I think a lot of media outlets are leading with it. They've published it.
I was reading before that they were looking at doing it, but if that's actually going to be confirmed, then I'm going to want to have these blokes going around.
They had, 2 or 3 leading media agents. I think the Athletics led with it, Daily Mail's led with it. So I don't think the Athletic would go with it if it's not true.
Unbelievable news. Couldn't be happier. You know, we get to see more of the big man, so bring it on. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely, pal. Absolutely. Tristan?
I was just thinking, I wonder what Pep's thinking now. Because he's it's still one person. It's probably the one piece of news that's going to just kill his day. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time to go to Italy.
Well, that's true, because if they get Haaland, Pep will probably stay, right? He's not going to not stay if they sign Haaland.
You know what? I don't know what he's going to do, but I can't imagine he's that pleased with it, because it's easy without Pep, and without Klopp there. He roll, it's just strolls the league every season. He's not used to having a challenge.
So exciting, so exciting. All right, guys, let's get on with it. Let's start with the race to avoid the championship. That's right, the Premiership relegation battle. Billy, let's have your take, mate. In all seriousness, who's going to stay up and who's going to stay? Who's going to go down? I know that your life is turmoil at the moment, so if you can just be as objective and as clean as possible.
I think Everton are going down. Everton deserve to go down if they do go down. We haven't got the battling qualities that we've had in other relegation fights where we've got out of it by either paying someone or or battling the dogs of war. We haven't got no dogs of war. We've just got dogs, I'm afraid. And the club might end up, I'm hoping it'll end up being the best thing that's happened to Everton in the recent past.
Why are you so defeatist, Billy? I don't get it. I mean,
why? Because I can't see where the points are going to come from. That's my problem.
I know, but the thing is, I have this argument with I have a ding-dong battle with the people on the Everton page every day. But
yeah,
I understand where you're coming from, that you see there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I get that. But you still have 5 or 6 games. I think it's 5 to stay up. One of those games, Burnley have got Watford this Saturday, right? And that's not going to be easy for them. The other thing is, another. I mean, 2 wins, and you're probably going to be safe. It's not that. It's bad, but not. It's not. It should be right in your post-mortem.
But when you look at Burnley, Abid, they are a team of grafters, right? And I know they just got rid of Dyche, which I didn't think was going to be a good thing for them. But they've had that manager bounce, and what they've done is that they're playing for the club, they're playing for each other, and they've had a couple of really good results lately. They've had 3 wins, and that's lifted them above Everton now. And they've still got a couple of, your Aston Villas who haven't got a lot to play for, to be fair to them. And they've still got a couple of games that I can see them winning. I can't see where Everton are going to get any more points than Burnley. And that's my problem. Because we haven't got the wherewithal to actually fight, and the players who are going to run themselves into the ground. We've got a load of shakers, and I know it's a bad thing to say about your own club, but I'm afraid it's the truth.
Billy, you've got Chelsea on Sunday, you've got Leicester away, you've got Watford at home. You've got Watford away.
Yeah.
You've got some shitty. Oh my! These pictures are bad for you. I mean, they're not easy teams. You're right.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
And Brentford are on a bit of a run at the moment. They've been having some really good results and playing well.
Yeah.
Watford beat us 5-2 at home. So what makes you think that Everton are going to turn around a 5-2 deficit when it's away against someone who is still fighting for their lives? They're hoping to get out. They won't, but they're going to be fighting for their lives. And I can't say, we could get a result there. We could, but that's not going to be enough. One result against Watford. The other games are hard. Chelsea are terrible at home lately.
Yeah.
But the good away, they play in a certain way. He's got them playing in a certain way there that they look far better away from home than what they do at home. And I can't see us getting much on Sunday.
The problem I see with this running is if on the last day of the season, if Arsenal need points to get into the top 4, and you've got them, I see that as a big issue for you guys.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very much so.
Rob, Tristan, what do you think about the bottom 3, the relegation fight?
I think Billy's
right.
Obviously. Sorry, Rob, go on.
I was just going to shortly say, obviously Watford, Norwich are gone, but like Trish just said as well, I think Billy's right. I think Everton's finally come to the point where they're actually going to get relegated. Never would have picked it at the start of the season. But, look, they've been terrible. They're getting put away. There's still a chance they can stay up if they can grasp something in the last 5 or 6 games, however many they got left. But like you just said, Abid, with the fixture, which you just mentioned, it's going to be really tough. It's a pretty tough run. So I've got a feeling that we're going to be seeing Everton in the Championship next season.
Yeah.
The problem is. Sorry, Tristan. I know you want to have a say, but the problem is Burnley have started scoring goals out of nowhere. They used to just defend well and get draws, but now they've started scoring goals. And I think you're right, Billy. They should stick with this manager till the end of the season, because they're just going to mess up the recipe if they get somebody else in my opinion, because they seem to be doing okay with it. Tristan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's the problem Everton have got, is that, like you said, they've got that new manager bounce and they're looking okay now.
Yeah.
So I can't see them getting out of it, and so, I don't know if I'm sad or not. That's the thing I can't figure out. I can't decide. I was saying this to Billy earlier. In some respects, obviously, missed the derby. I love the derby, but it's the way they play it. It's not nice to watch, is it? And
No.
You just don't know how many of your players are going to come out of that with injuries. Like, and it's so it's, and also it's got really nasty between the fans.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
So maybe it'll do good for it not to happen for a while.
But you've got to play football with what you have. Everton don't have, and I've been with all due respect, Everton don't have the talent to match Liverpool on a football pitch by playing open football. So
Yeah, I get that. I get the defending. But you don't have to deliberately set out to hit at the players. And I know for a fact, and having spoken to ex-Everton players in the past, that they have been instructed to do so, to go out and make sure that they nobble players in the past. And it doesn't seem to have changed.
I understand, but I think that's up to the referee to cut that out.
Yeah, but the referee isn't, so why should we, so I don't want to see my team playing against a team that's deliberately setting out to hurt them when the referee's not going to protect them. So I don't want to see it. So I'm glad to see, that in that respect, it would be a good thing to see them go down, even though I'd hate it, because, a lot of my family work for Everton. So you don't want to see them go down, because they're at risk of losing their job if Everton go down.
Of course, yeah.
So no, so I wouldn't be celebrating, but I wouldn't be that disappointed either. It'd be mixed.
Yeah, I hear you, Billy. Okay, here's the question to you: whose fault is it? Rafa's fault, Mashiri's fault, Lampard's fault, Steve Walsh's fault, Penwright's fault? Or are they all of the above got to take some kind of accountability?
Exactly what you said in your last statement. All of the above. The club is rotten to the core, I'm afraid to say. From the top to the bottom. They don't know what the other person's doing next to them.
Hello.
There's a lot of infighting.
Yeah, Bazza. Sorry,
Are you back, Barry?
Bazza's back on.
Hey,
Hello.
Hello,
Sorry,
mate.
lads. 1,000 apologies. I really apologise.
No worries, pal.
It's okay. 10 Hail Marys.
We're talking about Billy's just talking about what's going on at Everton, mate, and who's to blame. So, Billy, do you want to carry on, mate?
Yeah. As I say, I think it's from the top down to the very bottom. It's the club is not run well, wasted a lot of money, and to be fair to Mashiri, he's willing to put the money in, but it's not being done in the right way. His love affair with Keir Jarabchin, the players he's advised him to get in, have all been for the money that Jarabchin's getting for these players and the contracts he's getting for them. And it's put the club in absolute turmoil. And there's no light at the end of the tunnel, because there's nothing coming through. No young players coming through. People aren't fighting. Everyone's having a bad season. So there's something wrong with the club. And I think and I've been his biggest admirer for a long, long time, is Bill Kenwright. It may be time for Bill to go. I don't like the abuse he's taken over the years. I've defended the man. I don't think he's done nothing wrong. But there is something in that boardroom that isn't right.
Can I ask you something?
I think it'd be better if he went, to be honest with you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to butt in then. I thought you were finishing.
Go on.
I just wanted to ask, there's one thing I don't get. You were saying about no young players coming through. You brought in that who looks a fantastic right back from Rangers, youngster, Patterson.
Yeah.
Where's he gone? I mean, he plays for Scotland. Brilliant. You get to Everton and you've got freaking Kenny playing instead, who's shockingly bad. And Coleman, who's about 954 and can barely walk, let alone run. What is going on there?
I know. And he had Coleman at left back and Kenny at right back. There's so much the unexplainable decisions that Frank's made. And I like him as a person, but I don't think he's a very good manager. And I think he proved that in the Championship when he was with Derby. He can't do the job at the moment. He might end up being a decent manager in time, but he's not the type of manager we needed. I was well prepared to give him a go, support the man, he might come good. He's done all his badges and everything. So it was okay to give him a shot, but I'd like to have someone a bit more experienced to get us out of it. And Frank's, he's tried his best. I just don't think he's up to the job. Personally, that's my personal opinion.
So if you go down, you'd advocate, you endorse Frank for the job. Is that correct?
Well, it's a tough one, because if he couldn't do it with Derby in the Championship, who had the best squad in the Championship, how is he supposed to do it with Everton? And his hands are going to be tied. Yeah. His hands are going to be tied financially because of the financial fair play and the trouble we're in. We're also going to have a lot of players on high contracts that we've still got. Hopefully half of them will go. But the club is a total mess at the moment. And it's hard to say because when you supported Everton for over 60 years, it's the party of life. And it's so sad to see them in this light at the moment that, I don't like watching them. I'll be honest with you, I don't like watching. I don't like the style of play. I don't like the players' attitudes. I don't like the board at the moment, although Michele's put the money, but he hasn't done it in the right way. And the whole club, as a unit, just aren't filling me with any confidence that it's going to change.
Another thing to ask you, Bill. So what do you think of this Calvert-Lewin? His ambition is not to be a great footballer, but to be some kind of ambassador for extravagance or something, was it he called it? Or something like that?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that all about?
He's a fashionista, and he doesn't seem to me, and it's my own personal opinion, as though football's his number one priority. He's in all these magazines and papers wearing women's bras and skirts and whatever he wants. I've got no problem with that. But his first priority has got to be football for me. And then if he wants to do things in the close season or whatever, but there's too much of this players who think they're bigger than the club. I think it's Arsenal were in for him, and I think his head might have got turned because it's his fashion thing now that he's doing. London's the place to be, not Liverpool. And so I think he wants away, and I don't think his heart's in it. You'll see when he come back, he don't act absolutely nothing. I know it's hard to get back after you've had an injury, but he doesn't seem to have the balls to actually say, I'm going to, give it me all, because he's been strolling around the pitch. And he's not my favourite player at the moment, Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, because his work rate used to be really good, didn't it?
Yeah. But, it's such a sorry state of it. But you could say that about a lot of Everton players. You watch the Liverpool, I go and watch Liverpool all the time, and you see their players, you see the Robertsons running up and down the wing all game. You don't see Everton players doing that. You see Fabinho in the middle and he's passing it and they're moving up. Everton don't do that. They get the ball and they're so static. And everything, like Godfrey was brilliant last season. This season, he's been an absolute tragedy. Coleman, to be honest. As soon as they get the ball, the first movement is backwards. And how many back passes that we do in a game from corners get played back all the time. Back to the midfield, back to the keeper. He picks it up. And it's like that. And it's so frustrating. I really want to scream at times. And as I say, I'm not enjoying watching Everton at the moment, which I thought is something I'd never say.
Thanks, Billy. Basil, let's get your take on Everton at the moment. What do you think? What's going on? Are they staying up? Are they going down?
Oh, they're going down, definitely.
Wow.
But and Billy knows this because I had many a chat with Billy about this, that I always had a soft spot for Everton, because the two teams in the 8 when they were winning represented the city. But not only that, when you see a Merseyside derby, you see Everton and Liverpool fans side by side, and I don't know how many times it was always mentioned on Match of the Day, probably the only derby in the world where you'd see rival fans side by side. But that's all gone. It's all gone toxic. It's it's horrible the way it was. And I was and believe it or not, if Liverpool didn't win the league, it didn't bother me if Everton won it, because it meant that it stayed in the city. Even though I'm from Ireland, I thought it was brilliant that the city was winning the league. But moving forward to nowadays, it's gotten horrible. I know there's bad fans in every club, and it's just gotten nasty. And the way they're playing is, I remember the teams, Howard Kendall, and you had Paul Bracewell, Peter Reid, the lads at the back, Ratcliffe, Van Den Hel, South. I mean, they played football. They're not playing football now, and it must be hard for Billy to watch. It must be hard for any Evertonian to watch. It is. No, not nice. And for, in fairness, for Billy to come out and say that, it must be gut-wrenching for him. But they're no, I can't see any way, especially with Frank Lampard. He's not a good manager.
And mate, you should have come where I was. The Liverpool Man City game, I was in a house full of Evertonians because I went to see my family, because obviously I'm avoiding watching the games. So I was in an Evertonian household, and my cousins and that for it. They had the TV on, but obviously I wasn't watching it for obvious reasons. So believe me, you'd have lost all of that soft spot for Everton after 5 minutes. I tell you. You'd have just ended up like I was thinking, I hope they go down, the bastards.
I don't know if you've seen the footage online of I've got videos of it, of the trouble after the game at the derby.
Yeah.
And,
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's people getting stabbed, there's chanting about
No way,
really?
It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting, honest to God.
Where did that happen, Billy?
And I'll send you the footage on the WhatsApp. There's Evertonians in a bunch, and there's a fella, and he's 40, must be 40 or 50 years of age. And he's going 97, And do you know what? I was so sick to my stomach. The city was all together over Hillsborough. And then you've got absolute despots and pathetic people saying that it's a derby, chanting.
What's changed, Billy? What made that go from the friendly derby to the an enmity derby? What happened?
What happened is society's changed. It's not just football. It's there's a culture, and it's more prevalent among the youngest side for me. I'm not saying that was an alash, it didn't happen in our day, but there's a culture now, and there's a knife culture, and there's people aren't nice to each other no more, it seems anyway. And I was at the 80s, two Wembley games, went down with mates and all that, was fantastic. But there's a culture now, and it's more about society than what it is about football, the problem for me. And it's just horrible. And
do you think there's some geopolitical intervention as well, or influence?
There's so many nasty people around it. That's all I can put it down to. There is, and
social media, Billy.
Yeah, I agree with that, Barry. Totally. I think social media is part of it. And,
Social media is terrible, has a thing to answer for, because what's happening now, it's given fans a platform to slag off other fans, even though,
Yeah.
and say for talk's sake, they meet up in a match or something, but straight away there's hostility. Because whereas, years ago, unless somebody actually confronted somebody physically, there'd be no hassle. And even if there was hassle, it was probably nipped in the bud straight away. But there's a lot of people storing it on social media that if the teams do ever meet up, there's a massive row. And, they're the background nipping, slagging on saying things about the club that they know nothing about. And that's where it's starting. It's boiling and boiling and boiling. That if they do ever meet up in a cup game or a league game, it explodes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Barry. I think you're spot on. Spot on.
Rob, do you get that ill feeling in Australia, mate? The Liverpool, Everton. What's that, mate?
In regards to the
between the two sets of fans.
like in Australia here.
Yeah. Do you get any of that feedback? Or
He wasn't even a better Everton fan.
Oh, that's what I was just about to say. There's not many Everton fans. I've only got one friend who's an Everton fan, and he's been quiet this season. But when it comes,
did you get that? Did you get what Baz was saying and Billy saying about the social media aspect?
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this to be rude. I'm not as old as you guys were. I didn't get to experience, 20, 30 years ago going to the football like you guys did. So I'm more of the modern generation, but it is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I am on social media.
Bastard.
Don't really. I do see a lot of comments, and it is quite toxic. But it doesn't need to be like that. I mean, I attend a lot of the AFL matches here, and I can take my wife and sit side by side, and she goes for a different team than me, and we have a bit of banter, but it never gets out of hand.
Won't last, mate, believe me.
Yeah, but don't you have the similar trouble with like Ford and Holden at the supercars? Like, don't they literally just get into fights all the time? The two sets of fans.
Look, they sit there and argue about which car's better. I'm not big into the car thing myself, but I can speak on experience of the AFL because it's massive where I am. And look, it's you might get a few arguments. The football, the police are on it straight away, but you never see those brawls. You never see people getting stabbed outside the stadium. And these stadiums can, like the MCG, can fit up to 100,000 people. And you don't see that here. So I didn't hear a lot about the aftermath of the Liverpool-Everton game, as you guys are saying. So I'm here in the background listening, and I'm quite shocked. I think social media and all that stuff does have a lot to do with it, and the change of society. But like I said, I wasn't around in your days to see what it was like back then, but it probably did seem like a better time to be around compared to, times like today when you hear of things like that.
The good old days.
Talking about the AFL, guys. Sorry, I didn't to interject.
No, go on, I was just saying the good old days, you mean. He's taking the piss. Don't leave it.
No.
Just ignore him.
I'm actually jealous. I really wish I got to experience, those type of days compared to days like today. That's just how I feel. I'm an old soul in a young body, so work that one out.
Yeah, but Tristan wants to be an old soul in a young body, don't you, Chris? Talking about the AFL, you'll get there in the end, Tristan, like British way.
I couldn't answer that one without getting us into trouble.
Yeah, or arrested. Yeah. Hey, didn't that guy from the AFL said that Daniel Sturridge was the worst signing in the club's history or something?
I didn't hear anything of that, but
I think the chairman said it, something like that.
After how many months it's been, I don't know how long it's been, about 6-8 months, however long Daniel's been here. I think he's played no longer than like 20 minutes of football, and it has just been a catastrophe. And that club that he signed for, is a pretty, in Australian terms, it's a pretty reputable club. They've been around a long time, even before the A-League was formed, and they are having an absolute stinker season, and I'm pretty sure they're dead bottom.
You can't knock Danny. You've got to love him, mate. It's not his fault.
I love him, but the signing of, for a marquee player, because, the rules are different here when it comes to signing players and such, has gone down.
They offered him the contract to be a fool not to sign it, at his age, so take the money.
Of course. But in retrospect, the club hasn't been better for it, so kind of feel bad.
Yeah. Guys, I wanted to get your take on the Sean Dyche sacking. What do you feel about that?
I think it turned out to be a good decision because they started playing better, and bad decision for us, good decision for Burnley. But they're playing for him, and the managers have a shelf life after 5-7 years. I don't know. He couldn't get a tune out of them, and I think he'd gone a bit stale. I like Sean Dyche as a person, but I think they'd gone a bit stale. Go on, Chris.
Sorry, I'd just like to point out that the problems with the team weren't about Sean Dyche. They were the ownership interfering because they didn't want Sean Dyche there, and they were looking to get rid of him from the start, and they were causing problems. They were not they were doing things behind his back because they didn't want him there. Let's be honest. They didn't want him there. They wanted to bring in because they had no intention. They only buy the club if it stays up. So they were quite happy to get rid of him. You know what I mean? Because they did, if they go down, they don't care if they can't get back up again. They don't care if they wreck the squad. They want a bigger name. That's why they haven't appointed Mike Jackson now.
So you're talking constructive dismissal, Trish? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they were making sure that he was as difficult as possible for him. They were offering him no help.
Right.
They didn't want him.
Is that why?
They didn't even tell him he was sacked. You know what I mean? They just called him in afterwards. He's in there on the training ground. They didn't even give. They didn't say we're going to be gone. Just called him in and said, "Yeah, pick up your stuff and go." It's like the man's done everything for that club. He's bigger than that club, in my opinion. And
is that why they wouldn't give him the money, Chris?
They would refuse to give him money to spend because they wanted rid of him.
Yeah. No, I have to say, I felt sorry for him because he did do well on Shagall. That's a good Irish statement, by the way. Right. I'll rephrase that. On not much money.
I just think he worked a miracle, and you get rid of a manager like him at your peril. Because, well, they've got a new manager bounce at the moment, and the players are playing because they're in trouble. It's not going to last, and I can't see how anyone else can get more out of that team than he did, because they just haven't got them. They're not going to spend the money they need to make them a decent side.
He's a perfect Lampard replacement. Perfect.
They should have appointed him in the first place. He should have been the one they brought in the summer, rather than Rafa. It was always a mistake bringing in Rafa because of him being an ex-Red, and the fans were never going to back him. But Sean Dyche would have been brilliant, even though he's a Liverpool fan.
Aren't they all?
I really like Dyche. He's not the greatest. He's not proved himself to be the greatest entertaining football-wise. You know what I mean? He doesn't produce a team, but how do we know that that's not just the way he is? How do you know that that's not the way the players he's got are? So he's having to play that way. He's always said, "This isn't the way I want to play football. This is just." I've got to play this way because it's the only way we've got a chance of competing in the Premier League.
A means to an end, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to see him get some money to spend and get players of his choice just to see if he can. Because I like him. He's got real charisma. He's, in the way he treats players, he treats them as adults. But he's a very Klopp-like sort of manager in the way he deals with players. You know what I mean?
Do you see him in the Premier League next season?
Well, do you know what the
That's
problem
a
is?
good question, Rob. That's a
He
really
should
good
be,
question.
but he's Sean Dyche, and he doesn't seem to get the respect he deserves for what he's done. If it had been Sam Allardyce who'd done what he'd done over the years, we'd never hear the fucking end of it in the media. Harry Redknapp, again, we'd never hear the end of it. But for some reason, Sean Dyche doesn't seem as beloved as those two. Probably because he doesn't give out as much money on the, backhanders and that, does he? So, I just don't understand it. Dyche is just... He worked a miracle, and yet he seems to get no respect for it.
He did. No, he's definitely not a media darling, not like the other two you mentioned.
That's what I don't understand, because he's much more charismatic. He's a he's a person that you could enjoy. When he talks, he's got something about him, you know what I mean? He makes me laugh and that, you know?
He's so deadpan and direct.
Yeah.
He's a good football man, isn't he? I think he's a good football man.
Yeah,
You'd take him today, wouldn't you, Billy?
I'd take him, yeah.
You're bored about his as manager. Enough about your sexual preferences. What about him as manager?
Where would you take him, Billy? Where would you take him?
Oh,
No, please, let's not go there. No, let's not go there.
Any holes a goal when you're Billy's age.
Moving swiftly on. We all agree that Norwich and what did he say? What did he say?
Just carry on. I've been sorry.
I don't even know what I'm laughing at.
Carry on, mate. We'll just ignore us.
All right.
Oh my God.
My ribs hurt.
It's shameless. All right. We all agree Norwich put it down.
Yeah.
Right.
Roy was left with too much to do and not the players to do anything with.
Yeah.
And Norwich are just shy, so.
All right. So, Billy, you got anything else to say about Everton before we move on?
There's not a lot to say, to be honest with you. I've already said. Diabolical.
Right.
Not good enough.
We didn't touch on the one thing we discussed before the pod, Bill, about Frank Lampard. Because I was asking about, do you think, so we'll discuss it here now, anyway, because Abby didn't hear it either. Because I think the Everton fans are deluded in that they're desperately trying to back Frank and saying he's a great manager. No, it's not his fault. None of this is his fault. He's not shite at all. The fact that he can't win a game, you know what I mean? Because they're just so desperate because he's not Rafa.
That's exactly it. He wasn't Rafa anyway. That was the thing that Everton supporters were saying. Doesn't matter who it is, so long as it's not Rafa. And he's
12 Premiership games. 12 Premiership games, 8 losses, 3 wins, and 1 draw, I believe.
Less wins in the Everton have less wins in the Premier League this season than Liverpool in the Champions League. I mean, that's the kind of stats that gets you sacked as a manager. So you can see why Rafa was sacked, but how is Lampard still in a job?
They've got to give him till the end of the season. They're not going to get rid of him now. But will they keep him if he gets fired? Because isn't he on a big fat contract? Can they afford to keep him? But they can afford to let him go. I don't know. There's got to be some kind of understanding there financially, right? He's going to have to take a cut if they get rid of him.
I think as I expect Everton to go down, I think his first half a dozen games in the Championship is going to be crucial for him. If he starts off well, I think they'll keep hold of him. If he doesn't start off well, he'll be out the door. and it'll be the merry-go-round again. We'll get someone else and try and build from there. And it's just typical Everton at the moment. It's just not good.
Maybe that'll be the time for Dyche.
I think
Maybe.
Dyche should be in the summer.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think
going for him. Go back. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, no problem.
No, go for it.
That's a great call. I would bring, if that was me now personally, I would bring Sean Dyche in and I guarantee he'd get his back up.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot better chance than what Lampard would have of getting his back up. So.
Yeah, absolutely. He would. I would put money on it that if Sean Dyche was brought in from day one, from the first, from pre-season, he would have his back up, definitely.
I don't think it's going to happen now. Isn't he now?
Guys, shall we move on and talk about the race for the fourth Champions League place? Man United and Spurs doing their best not to take it and leaving the way for Arsenal. Rob, do you want to say something about that? And I'll go every episode.
The race for the top four.
Yeah, man. For the fourth place, sorry.
So
Champions League place, the fourth Champions League place.
you obviously got the first three locked down, and then the fourth place being up for grabs, like you said.
Absolutely.
There's about 3 or 4 clubs, or 3, I should say, Arsenal, Spurs, and United, like you said, doing the best they can not to get it. Those 3 clubs, in my opinion, play really bad football. Tottenham, 1 minute they'll turn it on, Son, Kane, they'll go and score, they'll go and put 6 past a team, and then the next week they'll go and lose to Burnley or such. Arsenal, again, I don't think they're any good. I just think the gap between, the top 3, especially the top 2, and the rest is immeasurable. 2 teams light years ahead. Chelsea still solid team again, with a few losses here and there. They'll solidify being in the top 4. But that fourth place being up for grabs is look, United, I don't think they'll get it. I think they've it just looks like they've given up. Looking at the table now, 2 points separating Arsenal and Spurs. Look, regardless of whoever does get it, I don't think they'll be making much strides next season, even when they're in the competition. It doesn't really bother me who does get it out of those 2. It's just who's a little bit worse than the other. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it seems Arsenal have the momentum, but the points and the points on the board. But I think all the pundits still fancy Spurs. I kind of do as well. What about you, Billy?
Get it myself. I think they've got a slightly better team at the moment. Not better players, but I think they're a better team at the moment, and I think that'll carry them forward.
Arsenal, Spurs, Billy.
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Arsenal for me. Yeah. I think Spurs have got better players, but I think Arsenal are the better team, and I think that's going to see them through. And they had a bad run where they got some really bad results for about 3 or 4 games, but now they're back on track for me. I think they'll get 4th, but they're 4th, aren't they, than the rest of them. As Rob was saying before, you've got Liverpool and City at the top. Then there's a gap to Chelsea, and then there's an even bigger gap to, and I'm not even including United in that, by the way. To Arsenal, Spurs.
Sorry, can I just say something? I heard you saying Arsenal are a better team. Am I the only one that thinks Arsenal is shite and they just get away with it? Oh, game in, game out. They should they never play like a good team at all. I must be missing something. I watched them and I think they're awful. I really do expect them to every game. I watch it and I think I don't know how they've got a result there.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Not just to get results. And it is a results business, and getting into the Champions League, especially Well, they seem to have the wherewithal about them, and I don't see that with Spurs, and I certainly don't see it with Man United.
Yeah, but I
and
don't
that's why
think.
I think Arsenal will get there.
Do you not think it's just they're getting results beyond what they should be getting, and it's going to catch up with them eventually? And they'll stop. They'll stop winning.
What I was saying about before is that the gaps are so big now that there's 4 leagues within a league in the Premier League, and Arsenal are going to beat most of the lower clubs because they're a better side. I don't think they've got the greatest players, but I think that they're a better as a unit. And since they got rid of Aubameyang, I think it's helped them, and I think they're playing more as a team than what they did when Aubameyang was there. Although I think he's a fantastic player, he's a bit of an arsehole to a person, you know.
Yeah, he's well end.
Yeah, and I think they're the best out of the rubbish that's vying for the I really do, honestly, I do. I don't think the rest are anywhere near the Liverpools and the Man Cities.
Well, Billy, guys, listen to this running that they have, right? Arsenal. Yeah. They have West Ham away. They have Leeds at home. They have Tottenham away. They have Newcastle away. And then Everton at home. That is not an easy running by any stretch of the imagination. That is pretty difficult because, well, West Ham is a London derby. West Ham aren't going for 4th place anymore. Arsenal and Leeds are fighting for their lives, right? You've got Tottenham, Arsenal. That's going to be, that's the battle for 4th place.
Yeah,
and a London derby. And then Newcastle, resurgent, right? And Everton obviously are going to be fighting for their lives still. That's not an easy. That's a mother of running. Bazza, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. You've got Tottenham, as you say, and then Newcastle. But can I just go back? To what you're saying, and United's out of the equation because at the minute they're just individuals fighting. And they're looking forward to the new manager coming in. So you've got between Tottenham and Arsenal, and to be honest with you, I cannot pick which one. They're both not great, but if they do turn up, as you say, they could beat Manchester City and then lose to Southampton. What's the Tottenham running like? They have.
I'll tell you now, mate. They've got Leicester.
Yeah.
You got it there?
I have it. Yeah, I have it.
Go for it, pal.
So Tottenham have Leicester at home.
Yeah.
Liverpool away.
Yeah.
Arsenal at home, and then Burnley at home, and then the last game is Norwich away.
And that's the only gimme they have, so they've got a tough running as well.
Yeah.
It's
not going to be easy with them either.
No. Yeah. That's not easy.
No.
Isn't this shaping up to be the most exciting season ever?
No.
I mean, there's it's going to go to the... Yeah, I hear you, pal.
In a word, no.
Can I ask? Yeah. I just thought of some. Sorry, I just realised that when we did the relegation battle, not one of us even considered whether Leeds are in there. Are Leeds not in the battle as well? Then do we? None of us actually think that.
I don't think so. No, I think Leeds are okay.
I'm just not convinced by Marsh at all. So I think he's an awful manager, and that's their problem. Is he's got worse stats than Bielsa against the teams. The teams that they both faced.
He's only had about 5 games, though.
No, he's had more than that.
They've got a couple of match winners, though, Tris, haven't they? They've got some match-winning players. The Brazilian lad on the wing. Rafinha.
Yeah.
And you've got Phillips as well back. And he's a winner. He's a winner. And they've got a couple of good players that can win them games.
No, I think Calvin Phillips.
Bamford, is he back fit?
Bamford, no, he's out for the season. He's shite.
Sorry.
He's awful. He couldn't hit the side of a barn unless he has 45 attempts. I don't understand why they love him.
Well, come here. Here we go with the Leeds games. Okay, Man City at home, Arsenal away,
Exactly.
Chelsea at home, Brighton at home, and the last game is Brentford away.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
not
an
easy.
easy running.
That's not an easy running.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I was suddenly thinking, shit, we haven't mentioned them.
Yeah.
They're still in trouble.
Their last 2 games are winnable.
Yeah, but they're not easy winnable. Brentford,
They're not easy. No, I get it.
brilliant.
And the nerves. There's nervousness around the place as well. Obviously, yeah.
And they've not got a good squad because they've only got most of their. I know you're saying they've got a couple of match winners, but apart from that, most of their squad are still players that really they're mid-table Championship side that were just playing out of their skins because they had a great manager in Bielsa.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about league managers, he's only had 6 games. He's won 3, drawn 2, and lost 1
Yeah, but
in the Premiership.
Right.
What?
do you know if you've watched them, they're not looking good.
Oh,
You
that's
seen
a
any-
different story. But his results are not bad.
Yeah, but you can get that only holds out for so long. If you're not playing well, it's like I was saying about Arsenal. Yes, they're doing well now, but long term, eventually it starts to catch up with you if you're not performing well as kicking it. You can get away with it. It's like they say the mark of a great side is winning when you're not playing well, but you've got to play well for most of the season for that to become for that to matter. And yeah, teams like Arsenal and Leeds, they're not good teams in my opinion. They're picking up results beyond what they deserve rather than deserving those results. And it does catch up with you eventually unless you start picking up your performance as well.
How does everybody feel about Burnley?
I think they all
They
said
won't
the
respect
same.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
you heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you were missing Basil. Sorry, we spoke about Burnley. About
Oh,
if they're
sorry.
going up or down. Yeah.
Sorry, lads.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries, man. Yeah. What was the? I think the consensus is they're going to stay up and Everton are going to go down.
Yeah, that was
Would
consensus.
you think? What would you think, Baz?
Yeah, between Burnley and Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Sorry to interrupt. I just don't take it back there, but I just suddenly realised we hadn't mentioned Leeds.
Yeah, good point. Good point, Trish. Yeah. Another question. Do you think Ponte's going to leave if Spurs don't make top 4? Rob?
I think he could leave regardless, to be honest. I've been reading a lot that he's been linked to the PSG job, as it looks like maybe Pochettino might be going already. So I don't think he'll be hanging around there for long. I never did think he was going to hang around long in the first place.
Pochettino just said a few minutes ago that him and Mbappe are 100% staying at PSG next season. So that means he must be going definitely. Because we all know what those kind of statements mean.
Yeah. He hasn't got the dreaded vote of confidence from the chairman though yet, has he?
The chairman.
Ooh, chairman hasn't said anything though, has he? Whereas normally he's very vocal when he's back.
Yeah, he's pissed, that guy, I tell you. He is pissed.
They're awful under Pochettino. I mean, the fans have turned against him. He can't survive that. And Ponte will be the next one.
Yeah, and what were they saying? What happened at that when they won the title? The fans walked out?
Yeah, they all walked. They walked out like with about 11 minutes to go, and celebrated outside without the players. They refused to have anything to do with the players. And did you notice all the players when they were celebrating? There was no sign of Messi at the celebration either.
No,
I reckon he could be off too.
Didn't even turn up for the players' celebration.
Interesting.
It's a vanity club. Isn't it? That's it.
The Globetrotters.
Yeah, exactly. The Paris Globetrotters. What about Spurs next season, lads?
Sorry, you've gone really quiet now, Abid.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Yeah.
Harry Kane.
Yeah, do we feel Harry Kane's going to be at Spurs next season?
if Man City is going to go for Haaland, then where does Kane go? I mean, you know that Tottenham won't sell him for cheap. There's probably only a few clubs that could maybe afford or stump up what Tottenham would kind of want. You know how hard Levy is to deal with, and I don't know. To be honest, my personal opinion, I still see him staying at Tottenham next season.
That's a good shout, Bazza. Guys, what do you think?
Bazza?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I got an Irish accent all of a sudden.
You're the new Seamus. I actually agree with Rob. I think he's going to stay.
Yeah.
Because he's
Sorry.
because we all know what Tottenham's like to deal with, and he's going to be looking. Come here. What age is Kate? What age is he now? Anyway, 28, 29?
It's nice to see. Just to point out, Liverpool have officially announced Klopp's thing now.
Oh no
His new
way!
thing.
Yeah,
and
it's official.
And Pep and Peter Kravitz has all signed as well for the same length of time.
Fantastic. That's so good.
Well,
What a
I sent you,
that was.
Trish, I sent you the interview on YouTube. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
but I
on
can't
your
look at
WhatsApp.
Yeah, but I can't look at it because it's a YouTube video you've sent me, and I can't really look at it while we're doing this. That's why I can't. I can't really hear it while we're talking. So.
That's so good, man.
Keane, yeah, what age is he? 28, 29. But I think it's very sad.
Do you?
A player of his caliber, like, the chances are he's going to win nothing.
I don't care. He's a knobhead. I don't care. He's a cheat. I mean, the guy, he's one of the biggest arseholes. He's turned into one of the biggest arseholes in football with his attitude. It's been horrible.
He has. He
And
has. But a player, like,
he could have been a great player, but he's not.
he could have been. No, he's not going to be. And he's going to end up with nothing. Okay, big fact.
And he deserves nothing because of his own attitude, though. From in my opinion.
I
Are we talking about Harry?
Yeah.
You don't think he's a great footballer?
No, I'm saying he's got the ability. I'm saying he's not a great player because he's gonna end up with. He's been for large periods of the last few seasons. He's been a problem rather than a help for Tottenham. With his attitude, with his, from the moment he started claiming goals off his teammates and stuff, he became a problem. He's not good for team spirit. He's not good for team spirit.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's not a team player, is he? He's a me.
No. He's as we say in Ireland, he's a Mayfainer. It's all about me.
Yeah, and I think they'd have been better off with selling him. I think that was their big mistake, is not selling him.
think he's very talented.
He's got
Very talented football.
But to be a great player, you have to have more than talent.
Yeah.
It's a team, especially in a team game. You've got to be able to work with a team.
I think he'll go to United. I really do. I think United are going to one of the few clubs who could stump up the money for him, and I think it'd be a good shout for United to get him. I know he's going to cost a lot of money, but they're one of the few teams who can afford him, and they need a bit of impetus going forward. And I think he's a bigger man.
Billy, that's a fantastic segue into the next part of the pod about Man United and Ten Hag. So well done, mate. Well done. Appreciate that. We've got Billy. You kick it off then. What do you think Ten Hag brings to the table for Man United? Will he be successful? And how long will he take to get United challenging again?
I don't think he will be successful. I don't think any manager that goes to United in this present light will do any good for the foreseeable future. I think it's a long-term plan that they've got to have. I think they're the same as Everton. They've got more financial clout and a bigger club, but they've got the same problems. They are a club who should be playing at the top. People should want to play for them. They've got some great players, but there's no team ethic within United, and that won't be fixed overnight. And although I do like to look at Ten Hag, and I think he may in the end do a good job, but for me, it's not going to be an easy fix. I don't think it's something that they're going to suddenly become this good side that's going to challenge the Liverpools and challenge the Man Cities. They're not going to be there. They're going to be challenging the Arsenals and the Tottenham for the next 2 to 3 years at least. But that's just as my opinion on it.
See, Benny, I think I have a converse view. I think they brought him in to get rid of this culture of Galacticos and big time Charlies. I think he's got that disciplinarian approach, and he's got that where he won't buy big name players. He'll buy players to fit the system to fill holes. And I don't think that's as big as problem as say they did have. Do you get what I'm saying? I think they brought him in to stop the rot on and off.
Yeah. But can you see them challenging the big two, because it is the big two now? Can you see them challenging the big two for one of the top 2 spots?
Yes, I do. Not next season, but the season after, because they're going to buy players that will play for the football club and not themselves. Because at the moment, you've got a lot of prima donnas there that are just it's mutiny. They've taken over the football club, and it isn't the people. There's no authoritarian figures there. The players can do what they want. They can do carte blanche, and that's never going to be a winning formula. A successful formula. So I think they've got the right man. I think they've got the best man they could have probably got, but I'm not sure how long it's going to. I don't think it's going to be next season, obviously, because they're in they've got such a gap to fill, catch up with. But I think he's the right appointment. I really do. I think within 2 years they'll have to challenge it. Maybe not championships, and certainly top.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, Abid, but for me, there's so much badness in that club at the moment.
Yeah, it's so rotten, yeah.
The Brunos and a horrible player, but the likes of Bruno and players like that, at the fullback Darlow and players like him, I don't think that. Paul Pogba. They've got to get rid of all of them. They've got to get rid of all of them, though. There's not just 1 or 2, is there? There's like 7 or 8 of them.
I think
who are bad eggs.
Aren't most of them gone anyway? Like, there's a load of them out of contract.
Matic is gone. He's going as well. But let's. Yeah, but
Lingard,
For some reason, they've given Mata. For some reason, they've given Mata a new contract. I mean, what was that about?
Without the new manager's consent, surely not.
Yeah, he was given a new contract a few weeks back, and I was thinking then, why would you give him a contract when he doesn't even play?
And they've given Fernandes a new contract. Why would you do that without consulting your new manager? Maybe they did consult him, I don't know.
No,
but that seems like an odd decision as well.
It's all business-based. It's all about keeping the value up on him. But I don't understand the Mata one. I mean, what was that about? I mean, the guy's ancient. He's not playing. He's
done nothing for years, hasn't he?
He doesn't look like the same player he once was. You just let him go.
Yeah.
Azza, Rob, what do you think about the United coach? The new coming.
To be honest with you, I only know what I've read in the papers and that he's a bit of a disciplinarian. The one thing that I did find strange was the length of the contract. It's only 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's great. I think that's amazing. I think that's the right thing to do.
But
it's going to be a 5-year contract.
But what? Like, it's going to take. Personally speaking, now this is just me, but I think it's going to take him a lot longer than 3 years to sort that club out.
I think
You're
you're
saying
right.
you're saying 2 years that he'll. Are you saying, Abby, that he's going to have them challenging in top four for 2 years in 2 years' time?
In 2 years, I think they'll be challenging the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, and Tottenham, Newcastle. Yeah.
I think it's going to take a season or two more than that, and by that time, his contract will be up.
What do
Right.
you think
That's
that
what.
was, eh?
That,
They could spend big. They're getting rid of a lot of the dead wood's going to be gone. You know, a lot of the I don't like to use that term usually, but let's be honest.
yeah.
In
Yeah.
United's
Oh yeah.
case,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have actually got dead wood, like Pogba is who I was thinking of. And I like the guy as a person, and I know he's extremely professional off the pitch, but his attitude on the pitch has been disgusting for United, must be said.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be there.
I know,
No,
I
he doesn't.
can fully understand that, but why didn't you go sooner then? Put in a transfer request. He won't because there's money
Yeah.
in it. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I've got no
absolutely.
sympathy with the guy. I've got no sympathy with the guy whatsoever. He could have easily left at any point. He's chose to sit it out because he's earning millions. That's his
I
choice.
agree, but he's just done what 99% of the population would have done. You know,
No, I don't believe that at all. Most of them would have gone elsewhere.
he's
He could
on
have
a
got.
free transfer. He's going to get a massive signing on fee from somebody for a free transfer, and what a 500, 600,000 a week.
Yeah, but he could have gone to PSG at any point in his time at thing, which is what he's going to do anyway, and still get a massive get a massive cut of the transfer fee and a massive salary. There's nothing to stop him. It's just he just didn't want to. He didn't want to be the arsehole. You know what I mean? Be seen. He was trying to be pretend he cared.
He's a good guy, but he's a mercenary. Let's face it.
Well, I mean, I know we shouldn't be talking ill. I mean, if he's ill at the moment and all that, and I hope he gets better. But let's be honest, that's the way Mino is as his agent. That's the kind of players he represents.
Yeah, but
They're all
that's why
mercenaries. That's why they choose him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's why they choose him, right? Exactly. Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't touch a single player. Any player that's got him as their representative would be a player I would never even consider signing if it was me as a manager. You've got to be an
Yeah, but
idiot.
he makes his players very rich people. You know?
Yeah, but
So
he
makes his players very rich.
also causes loads of problems for the clubs. And if you're managing a player, if you're a manager of a club and you want to sign a player that's represented by him, then you deserve everything you get because he's going to bring you failure.
Yeah, I know Liverpool won't have nothing to do with him.
Nor should they. Nor should any club.
On the flip side, he makes people a lot of money, so
Mostly himself.
Good for him.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. I just don't see why people deal with him. I'm sorry, he's not good for the players because he might make them money, but he doesn't make their career better. Not one of them players has had the career they should have had if they'd have had a decent representative who actually represented them for their interests rather than just thinking of how much money he can put in his pocket.
He's got Haaland a worldly deal. I bet Haaland's not pissed at him.
Yeah, but again, I wouldn't touch Haaland with a barge pole, and you know what'll happen with him. He'll never reach the heights he should do.
Yeah, but he's only 21. He's got he'll spend 2 years at Man City and then go to Real Madrid or Barcelona, and he'll be set up for life. And he's got, let's face it, he's going to be tutored under Pep Guardiola. It's not the worst manager in the world to be taught by.
No, I understand exactly what Mino does, but I just wouldn't want to deal with him. And I wouldn't touch a player that chooses him as a representative because their only interest is money, not being the best player they can be. And that's not what it should be for me. It's like any sport. It shouldn't be about how much you can earn. It should be about how good you are. The money will come anyway. If you're good, you're the best, you'll get the money anyway. You don't need to do it.
Yeah, but I think there's stuff like, there's that on the back of your mind, there's that you might get injured or you get a long-term injury or
the moment Pogba signed for
how much money
Juventus,
do
he was
you need
set
though?
for life. Yeah, he was set for life and his family was set for life. He doesn't need the money. So the way he's acting is ridiculous. And it's the same with players like Haaland. He's already set for life. His family's already set for life. He doesn't need the money, but he's still working with Mino because he wants more money. It's just greed. It's not. And greedy players do not make good team players.
I agree, but it's hard to turn down $500,000 a week. I mean, how can you turn that down?
Yeah, but
I mean,
point is,
it's different if you're-
it's not. They're not just being offered it; they're going and asking for it. There's a difference.
Right. See, okay, yeah, I get you. We could talk about ours for this, but we need to move on to Liverpool, Man City, and what a titanic tussle these two are putting together. I mean, I for one, I'm absolutely mesmerised. A pulsating Carabao Cup final, an edge of your seat Premiership battle for the ages, a prospective Champions League final between the two juggernauts. So much to talk about. Who's going to win what, guys?
I think get a 5-timer myself.
Say that again, mate?
There's definitely a cup. There's definitely a cup coming. Which one it is, I can't call, but I do believe there's one of the big ones coming.
Trist?
You know, I don't do predictions, right? It's bad luck.
All right. Rob?
Look, many months ago, when we were still in all competitions and we're shaving that league down, that's when the talk, you know, I listen to some other podcasts and do a lot of reading about that stuff. People are always talking about, even months ago, about a potential quadruple. We knocked off the Carabao Cup, which was good. And I'll be honest, at the start, I didn't really believe we could do all four. It's almost impossible. And I'm not saying I think we will, don't get me wrong, but the closer that every game, you know, we get through and we're winning, we're still winning, and we're still there, the more you start to believe. And you don't want to, in a way, because you don't want to get your hopes up and you end up with not much. But, mate, this is, you know, the time I've been a Liverpool fan, this is like the most exciting time. We're a point behind City. You know, yes, we do have to rely on them to drop a game, to draw a game even. But it's definitely, you know, doable. We've seen how they are against even some smaller teams. They can slip up. So there's a prospect of winning the Premier League, which would be my preference. That's just my personal for me. I feel like we've got 1 foot in the Champions League final. I don't want to speak too early on that either, because you never know what could happen. But I'm pretty confident that we'll get over the line against Villarreal, and I'd prefer to play Madrid in the final. I'm guessing we'll get to that. But and then we've got the upcoming cup, the FA Cup final against Chelsea, and it's just a really special time to be a Liverpool fan. The news that just broke through now, I'm beside myself. I'm absolutely ecstatic. Couldn't be any happier.
Yeah.
Couldn't be any more excited, and I can't bloody wait to get through to these games and watch them.
Today's a good day, mate, that's for sure. Personally, I feel we're going to win the Champions League and the FA Cup. I just think we're going to fall short in the Premiership, and I really, really hope I'm wrong.
That's still a trouble.
Yeah, that's yeah, exactly. Can't be believed. Right, guys, let's talk about Liverpool versus Everton, because I know there's been a lot of noise on the side about this game. Liverpool got out second gear. Was it a penalty when Matip shoved Gordon to the ground? His vertebrae 748 places. I'm not so sure. Billy, what's your take on that game and the penalty?
My take on the derby was Everton done what they had to do in the first half, which was defend. You're not going to attack Liverpool. No team, bar City, have the wherewithal to attack Liverpool and get a result. And Everton are in survival mode. And what did they have? 17%, second lowest in history against Liverpool. Allen had one touch in the whole game, one completed pass. And we were always on a hiding something. But for me, it was a penalty. But you don't get penalties when you're diving all over the place all the time. Referees frown upon it. And ones you should get, you don't get, because that's what happened with Gordon. I think it was a penalty by Matip. But he'd already gone down twice for nothing challenges. And Everton got what they deserved, which was nothing out of the game. And I know that's harsh, and I wanted them to win. And I thought, first half, they were quite tidy of it. They'd done all right, but it was never going to last. And Liverpool just far too good for them. You know, it could have been more, and Everton could have got a draw if they scored the penalty. But in the end, it was the right result. 2-0 Liverpool. Fair result.
That's very magnanimous of you, Billy, because honestly, I thought if that game ended in a draw, I wouldn't have had any complaints. I really don't. I think you guys played with what within yourselves, and I thought that you had a game plan. I think you stuck to it resolutely. I think you played. You were defensive mostly, but you had some good counters on the left through Gordon mostly. I didn't think Richarlison covered himself with any glory, but he worked. But honestly, if you'd have come out with a draw, I wouldn't have had no complaints about that. I really did, because I thought it was going to be a frigging massacre before the game.
Yeah.
But you surprised me. You really did. Guys, Barry, Rob, Chris, what do you think about the game? And the penalty incident.
I don't really want to get started on Richarlison. Was getting quite angry in my seat in that first half. But Bill, you were talking about the penalty call on Matip on Gordon, was it? Yeah. See, I'm not even being biased here. I didn't even think that was a penalty. I could easily said that if it was down the other side and the same thing happened, but I didn't think that was a penalty, man. He didn't do himself any favors in the first half, getting booked for simulation and diving around.
Yeah.
There's not really need for that. But I'm being honest here, and look, I'll tell you if I thought it was a penalty, I'll definitely say, we got away with that one. Everton should have been awarded the penalty, but I really didn't see that as a penalty, man. I think there was not much in it other than a shoulder to shoulder.
I think he was behind him. That was the thing, and he pushed him. And it was stupid by Matip. He had no need to. Gordon was going now. He was going towards the touchline. Oh, the fact is, and even Tim McGallagher said in the Sky programme after, he had to give it because it was a shove. And he had no need to do it, Matip, but it was a shove. And it was a penalty for me. It was a penalty.
But then, Billy, you said that Dermot Gallagher said he'd give it.
Yeah.
Mark Cattenberg come out and said he wouldn't have given it. He made the referee
Yeah,
made
that's
every
right.
single decision. Every decision the referee made in that match was correct. He had a great game. So,
Yeah.
But Mark Clattenburg wears a Liverpool shirt underneath his black referee shirt, so you can't really ask Mark Clattenburg.
You mean the Man United fan, Mark Clattenburg?
He's a Liverpool fan. I'm telling you.
Is
The old man.
Is he
Tristan,
badly or? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
What did you think
Even
of
that Mancunian fella.
What's his name?
Well, half of them.
What's his name?
They always get given the Liverpool Man City games, which they always get given a whole bunch of Mancunians, even in the VAR. It's like, just say you want them to win.
Yeah. Tristan, what's your take on the derby? Did you watch it? What did you think of the penalty in this one?
Well, I've watched it since, haven't I? Because I don't watch them live at the moment, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, because it's a good reason why I'm not watching them. But you know what I mean? Do you know what? It's soft. It's one of those that if it's given, you'd be screaming. If it's not given, then you're just like, well... Do you know what? For me, they're not penalties, because the reason why I wouldn't have given it for a penalty is exactly what Gordon said after the game. He felt contact and he went down. Simple as that. So he's dived.
I think that was the first one he said that about.
No, he said that about all of them. He said that about, I think it was 3 times, wasn't it? He went down, and he said he felt contact and went down. Well, if that's what you're doing, then you're a cheat and you don't deserve a penalty. It's that simple. You try and stay on your feet
I can see that.
That's how I look on it. If you felt contact and gone down, it's the same whether it's Harry Kane, which is why he annoys me, because if it had been him, we'd have had in the media it was definitely a penalty. When it's, it's not definitely a penalty. It doesn't matter who it is. It's only a penalty if they've definitely been forced to the ground. If somebody leans on you, you should be trying to stay up. And if they force you to the
Billy.
ground, then it becomes a penalty. But if you feel contact and you go down, that becomes a dive. I'm sorry, for me, it's not a penalty because of that. Simple as that.
Billy,
That's why.
Let me ask you. Thanks, Chris. Billy, let me ask you a question. Did you happen to watch Liverpool versus Villarreal?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay. Did you? That's all I wanted to know. No, I'm only joking. Did you see when Pau Torres, I think it was, had Salah's neck in his hand, and
he tried to strangle him. Yeah.
Is that a penalty?
Yes.
That a penalty?
It is, yeah,
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. That's a
You
penalty.
can't put your hands on a player in the area without it being a penalty for me. I don't think you can. It's against the law to do it, the laws of the game. So whether it's Matip pushing someone or someone grabbing Salah by the throat, it's a penalty for me.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I just don't think so. I just can't see it. I really can't, to be honest with you. You can show me that incident 100 times, and 7 times I'll say it's no penalty. It's not beyond doubt. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a doubt whether it's a penalty or not. I think in that instance.
Go on, buddy.
Sorry, my gut at the time was it was a penalty. Because, and the reason why is I thought Matip was slightly behind him.
He was not slightly behind, he was well behind him, yeah.
And that's when he went down, because I remember looking at it go, this is a pen, he's going to give this. But because Gordon was throwing himself all over the pitch earlier on, the referee didn't give it.
Yeah, I can see why it wasn't given, because of Gordon.
I can see why it wasn't given, but if he had stayed on his feet throughout the game, and then this happened, I think it would have been given.
Why didn't VAR give it? Why didn't VAR give it?
For the same reason, they didn't give the Man City one when it's going to end up costing Liverpool the league, possibly. They never give the penalty against Man City because they're incompetent. They're not using the rule properly. If it's a contentious issue, it should be sent to VAR and they should give a ruling or at least advice to the referee to go and have a look at it again. And it wasn't done. And it wasn't done in the City game. In the end, that could cost Liverpool the league. And possibly will.
That City one was a joke, though. That was ridiculous. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not even.
that was
That's not even. There's not even an argument over whether that's a penalty or not.
No.
That is a penalty all day long, every day. And I don't understand how that wasn't given.
Stevie Wonder would have given that penalty.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's not a Mancunian on VAR, so it's never going to get given.
yeah.
That was ridiculous.
My favourite moment of the derby was the complete epic shithousery that Alisson did at the end of the game, mimicking Jordan.
That was amazing. That was brilliant. That's entertainment, isn't it? That is entertainment. You've laughing me head up.
You've got to say, when a team sets out to start time wasting from the kickoff, you've got to say they don't really deserve to get anything from a game, to be honest.
Yeah.
No.
I understand it, but, save the time wasted till it's towards the end of the game, at least the second half, for God's sake.
Yeah. That's why I said they got what they deserved out of it. Absolutely nothing.
There weren't great tactics, Billy.
No, they were. I disagree with you there, Barry, because I think Everton had to do something to try and get a point, and they defended from the minute one, and they had a couple of breakaways, don't get me wrong. The first half we done okay, but you don't want to see football played like that, really.
No.
No, can I just... I don't think a point helps you. I think you're in a position where you've got to go out and win, and you may as well lose 5-0 and pick up the next game, win 3-0 or 1-0, whatever. You may as well lose and win than getting 2
But,
draws.
I know,
And you're in a
but
position where you need wins.
could keep you up. A point
But
could
it's-
keep you up. It's that
it's
tight down there that it could. It wouldn't surprise me if Everton got relegated by a single point.
Yeah,
And
but
that's when things like the Man City, the penalty against Man City, and another couple of results have got things have gone against us. Oh, I'm not bemoaning me luck because you get exactly what you deserve.
but my point is,
Oh, go on.
I was just saying, the point is, it's not like you might. Yes, it might well cost you. Yeah, you go, oh, we only got relegated by a point, and that's why. But for me, I think if you go out with that attitude of you're only going for a point in games at this stage of the season, that's when you put yourself in trouble on your own sakes, because you're trying desperately to hang on to things. You know what I mean? You're trying desperately from the start to hang on to 0-0.
The thing is, Chris,
put yourself
when
in
you're
trouble.
in our situation, you don't go to Liverpool and try and play football because you're
I wasn't.
You're asking for trouble. If you'd have tried and won the game from the start by putting an extra, say, without another attacker on, or attacking midfielder, we would have got beat 5 or 6-0. I thought the tactics weren't too bad, actually.
But that's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about the fact that he's not gone there to even snatch a win. He's gone there.
No, he hasn't. No.
To play out time, to just waste time and just see out the game and try and get through. That's what I'm saying. You've got to be going out there, even if you're playing. You're going out there to hold on tight and defend. I don't mean you go out there and attack us, but you've got to be setting up to snatch a win, and he wasn't even doing that, and that's where you start getting the wrong mindset. And once you get in that mindset of where you're just defending, it's very difficult to get out of it.
In an ideal world, I totally agree with you. But when you're in a situation like Everton, you're looking for the even a slight bit of a result against Liverpool would have maybe scuppered Liverpool's chances, which would have given a lift to the supporters. And a point would be a great result. Even if you played for it, a great result at Anfield is to get a point, because not many people are getting that.
I agree with that. I just think it's the way you went out to get it, rather than that you went out to get a point. You know what I mean? It's so negative that it puts negativity in the minds of the players. And then the next game, they've still got that. It's still in their heads. The manager thinks we're shite, basically. And it's teams that do that go down. That's why I'm convinced. That's why I'm now convinced that Everton are in real trouble. Whereas before, I thought they'd always get out of it. But now I'm actually genuinely convinced they'll go down, because I just think the manager's got the wrong mindset, and he's given that to the players. He's told them they're going. Basically, what that said to him is, you're going down. You may as well, Well, we're just trying to play out and hope. If we don't snatch a lucky point anywhere, we're in. We're gone, and it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy now.
I always thought that Everton would scrap their way out of it. I was convinced of it, and I said it to you, Billy, and I said it to Tris, that no, they'll be fine. But no, I don't know. No, just to echo what Tris said there. When you're playing that type of football, when you're doing those type of things, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I get that, Barry. I do get that. My only thing is that when you're down there and you're looking for a crumb of comfort would have been to get a draw at Anfield.
Yeah.
That would have given a lift to all the club, It might be pretty, it's not pretty, it's horrible. But
no.
It's a crumb of comfort, that's all.
When you're scrapping and fighting, you'll do what you have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right, yeah, I suppose. I see your point, if you pardon the pun.
Yeah. I'm on point.
Or no points.
Absolutely.
And they're just like Britain in the Eurovision, aren't they?
Yeah.
Pointless.
Can we just take a second to talk about a certain player that has I've come to absolutely adore, and I could watch all day, and I think he's absolutely
Thiago.
amazing.
Has to be, doesn't it?
Seamus Coleman.
Absolute superstar. Mate, I could honestly watch that guy play all day. He is unreal.
Against Man United, it's the best single performance by any player in the league this year for me. Against United, he was fantastic.
Fantastic timing, Rob. That was next on my list. Thiago's emergence.
Are you two texting each other?
Hang on. What do you mean amazing? I'm not being funny. He was playing this well last season. It's just the media wouldn't accept it and were criticising him for doing stuff. The players weren't on his wavelength when he was playing the passes. He was this good last season.
Yeah.
But Tristan, in this third, he missed the last 3 home games, attempted passes 337, completed passes 326. That's friggin' astonishing. And he passes the ball forward, not back. You know what I mean?
It's just because they've got used to him. That's what it is now. The other players are making the runs for him. Whereas before, he was getting the ball, he was looking to play those passes, and sometimes he played them, and the other player wasn't making the run. Salah would be looking and thinking, Thiago's got it, he's 60 yards away, there's no point making a run. Now he looks at him and he thinks, Thiago's got it, he's 60 yards away, he's going to put it on my foot, and he's making a run for it. And that's the difference. It's not Thiago that's improved, it's that the other players now understand how good he is. And they're getting into position to, they're making movement for him. And that's what's changed with him.
That's an excellent point, Tristan, because he reminds me of when Jari Litmanen signed for us. All the other players weren't on Yari's wavelength. He was wasted at Liverpool. And it's exactly the same thing here. I used to watch matches when Yari signed, and Yari was just so frustrated because he'd been putting in superb world-class people, and especially Heskey didn't have a clue what was going on.
I love Litmanen.
And Thiago. It's the same with Thiago. Just silky, fluffy, player. I mean, he's the Alonso. He's the modern-day Alonso.
Yeah, he's very similar to Alonso. I can see a lot of similarities in the two.
And since we haven't had a pod in a while, and there's obviously been a lot happening in the transfer window and such, what do we make of Luis Diaz?
Bloody yeah, you're
doing
my notes for me. Well done, mate. Yeah. Thank you. He's just like, I don't think we'd be going for this shot. You know what I mean? To our season. He's having, cheap mate having him inside.
Yeah, he's been a really good pickup.
Yeah.
I know, Tristan, you think he's going to go on to world class.
Yeah, I was saying this to you, wasn't I, the other day, about I think in a few years' time we'll be talking about him as the best player in the world, bar none. You know what I mean? I think he'll go on to be the one that you think, not like like the moment there was the years of argument between Messi and Ronaldo. I think he'll go on and he'll be out there on his own if he carries on with the improvement he's making. Yeah, there'll be nobody else. He'll be the one.
You really think?
I think he's that good.
Much?
Oh, I think he's that touch. My God, I think I needed to change my underwear after seeing that again and again and again. His missus must be the happiest woman alive when he's got a touch like that. She's never got, she doesn't. Sorry, go on.
I like him, but his Alvin Stardust haircut just doesn't cut it for me. That's
But you know what I like about him most? It's that he works so damn hard for the team.
Oh my God!
And when he gets pushed, he gets clattered time and time again. He just gets on with it. It's like you just watch the other player and they look at him and think, now what do I do? I can't even kick him off the park. What do I do?
He's fitted in so well, hasn't he? He has fitted in really quickly and well. I think he's a very good player.
Does he start on that left hand side?
Yes.
Your ideal with everyone's feet. You've got Luis Diaz on the left. You'll play Mane centrally and Salah on the right.
Yeah, that's the better choice now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all day
They
long.
missed the
Yeah.
trick.
Love
They
Bobby,
missed
but
the
he's
trick.
dropped now. Sorry.
They missed the trick by not starting him in the was it semi-final against City?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
Against City reserves, yeah. When they played them, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good
What? So Everton then?
game. Don't do
Guys,
that, Mother.
again, let's go. The general theme, like Rob started. I mean, a player you've got to admire. He's had a bit of a renaissance since he's been moved into the middle with Sadio Mane. I mean, he's really surprised me.
Oh, he's looked brilliant.
For a while there, I was really concerned that maybe that could be the end of how good he was. And I'm not saying, like, I know it's still early of him playing in that middle role, but it's really kicked some new life into him, and he's picked up a lot, and I'm loving it because I love Mane. We all, maybe except Billy, we all love Mane, but for a while, like I said, I really thought his performances were trailing off. You know, he did have a dip, but since playing through the middle and this run that we've been on, he's been, you know, instrumental to it, and I'm happy that we're seeing him play like that again.
It's so nice to see Salah and Mane having success on the pitch, because when Mane dropped off, it was just Salah getting that, and it was so sad to see because Mane has been absolutely paramount to our success over a few years. And as you say, Rob, it's so good to see him having this resurgence, this renaissance.
That ball round the corner for Salah's goal against United. I mean, shit, that is class. That is superb.
Blind as well.
Yeah, that shows how much quality that lad's got. It's nice to see him back playing well because I love Mane.
Yeah. If for next season we go in with Diaz, Mane, Salah start, I would be very happy. And just buy a backup to, I think Bobby will leave this summer. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think he'd stay to be a backup, to be honest. That's the thing with him. I think he loves it at Liverpool and he's very settled, so I'm not sure he would be 1-0 to get out. I think the one we'll miss is Origi, because you only have to bring him on for a couple of seconds and he scores. So, you know, we don't know how do you replace that? You simply can't. I mean,
he's a really nice guy, but he's a donkey, isn't he? Let's be honest about it.
He seems to do all right against Everton. He does well against Everton. But he's not. He is a
really nice donkey.
No, he's not. He's a very good player. He just doesn't get he doesn't have the fire in his belly. That's all he's missing. He's got the touch, the control, the strength, the speed. He's got the ability. It's just he hasn't got that drive and desire to be to fight for his first place. That's the problem.
It doesn't suit our style perfectly. That's the only issue. He has, for Everton, he'd be fantastic, I think.
I wouldn't want, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't want.
There's the attitude that gets you relegated, Mr. Billy.
Him and Firmino, I'd sooner have what we've got than him and Firmino.
And that's why, because they've not done anything, have they? I mean, they're part of a Premier League winning side, the Champions League winning side, so they must be shy because they wouldn't get into an Everton side. Oh, come on, Bill.
No, they wouldn't get in my Everton side. They get into Everton side, but they wouldn't get in my Everton side. I think that the two.
That's because you're still living in the 80s and you think Howard Kendall's managing. That's why.
Perennial underachievers, aren't they? Let's be honest about it, the two of them. You know, all this patting on the back, how good's he? I'm the one who tells you, not good. That's my job.
The last. Sorry.
No, sorry, Rob. Go.
Oh, the last player that I was going to bring up and touch up on is the other attacker that we haven't mentioned yet, Diogo Jota. Now, he is one of those players.
You is one of those. The J word.
he's one of those players that drives me absolutely nuts sometimes. And he'll do nothing for most of the game, and then he'll pop up and score a goal, and you're like, I don't know what to say, because I've been slagging him off, in the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment, watching it on TV, and your side needs a goal, and not much is going on, and then he'll pop up and just score one, and you're like, I can't say anything bad because he's got what we wanted, but for the rest of the game, he's done absolutely nothing.
Well, it's not that. A lot for the rest of the game, he's usually giving the ball away to the opposition to make things worse. That's what's so frustrating about him. His touch is horrible, his passing's awful, and then he scores goals. So
yeah, that's exactly what it is. He's a goal scorer.
Yeah, he's one of those players.
The first touch. His first touch, his second touch is usually a throw, and it's not to the opposite.
Yeah.
He's that type of player.
Yeah, it's frustrating to watch, but players like that are in gold dust to have around the squad. To have as a rotation option. Yeah, but he's not a player you'd want to be starting every week. That's how
he's got 20. He's got what 21 goals this season, and you're like, for someone who, technically as a footballer, I don't think is that great. He was just, like I said, you whip a ball in, and he's not a big man at all, and he'll find his way to get his head on it. Or against Arsenal, where he drew that shot, and it was poor goalkeeping by England's
Ramsdale
media painted bloody Ramsdale, who they think is the bee's knees. So I think absolutely trash. Yeah. Just moments like that, he'll pop up and score, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I can't be pissed off with this man anymore because he's done what we actually needed. But like you said, Tris, touch is terrible, link up's terrible, passing's terrible, but he bloody will score a goal.
Yeah, but Rob, his finishing isn't great either. He misses some easy chances. His best.
Oh, that one against Brentford, I still remember that one.
His best asset is finding space. That's his best asset, and he's a decent presser, but nothing compared to Diaz. Diaz, I've never seen anybody press like that in my life.
He's a different animal.
Oh, ridiculous! But we're talking about Jota. Bazza, what's your take on Jota? Bazza's on mute again.
Buzz has gone again.
Buzz has gone again.
Guys, should we move on to the weekend fixtures to finish up with some predictions? We've got Newcastle v Liverpool. What do you think is going to happen there, guys?
I think it's a difficult game for Liverpool. I think flying at the moment, Newcastle. I think Liverpool's sneaky, but I think it's going to be a 1-0, possibly 2-0. But I don't think they're going to have it all their own way. That's my opinion.
This is a pig of a fixture at 12:30 on a Saturday. It could. I don't think it's like City, to be honest with you. 0 on the goal. They want to show their fans that they belong, with the big boys. I don't think it's going to be easy. That's for sure. I hear you, Billy. Tristan, you don't do predictions. Billy, Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I know they've had an injection of money at the start of the season. They look like they're one of the teams that you'd almost pick to go down. But they've had a bit of resurgence. Good on them. I don't mind Newcastle. In terms of the game on the weekend, I do think it's going to be a bit difficult. It's away from home, yeah, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's St. James Park. Yeah, I mean, St. James's, yeah.
They've got themselves in a good position up the ladder. They're obviously safe. They'll be looking to build upon that next season, splash some cash. I do think we're in that form and we're fighting for what we are, that we will get past them. I wouldn't say very comfortably. I don't expect a smashing, but I'd just be happy at the end of the day when the whistle's blown and we've got another 3 points on the board. So I'm pretty confident we'll get past them, but I don't think it'll be as easy as it has been in the past couple of seasons against them.
That Brazilian fella they signed is absolute quality.
Ramirez,
yeah, I think he's really good. He's going to be special, that kid.
Baz has just texted me, by the way, he's got to take the kid footy training. So he's got.
Okay.
See you, Bazza.
Thanks, Bazza. Villa Norwich, plain sailing for Villa. That one? Norwich are already down, probably.
I don't think it's plain sailing. I don't think Villa are playing that well at the moment. I think they haven't got much to play for. Wouldn't surprise me if that ended up a draw.
I'm just thinking, lads, probably the only person that didn't appreciate Klopp signing a new contract was Steve Gerrard.
Good point.
I'm kind of happy about that, because what I've seen from Gerrard, as a manager's perspective, I'm not entirely convinced by him at all.
He's very raw, and let's face it. He needs. You can't judge him now. You've got to give him 2-3 seasons, and then take it from there. Yeah.
I've not been impressed with Gerrard myself. I know he won league in Scotland, but the team fell apart straight away afterwards. I just don't think he's got that right. There's something about him. I don't think he's a bit of a checkbook manager there compared to the kind of manager I want to see. If you see what I mean, his tactics I'm not impressed with. They just seem like he hasn't got an idea what to do when things aren't going right. It's just we'll just keep going and hope.
I feel he's just copying. Go on, mate.
He's only a fledgling though, and he's got time on his side, hasn't he? He is only a fledgling.
But for now he's not ready.
He might end up a good manager. At the moment, he's not a good manager. There's nothing to say that he won't become a good manager.
Yeah, Villa have been a real big disappointment this season, considering the money they've spent.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Rob.
Oh, definitely. To be, I can't remember where they are in the bottom half. Around there, it's if you're a Villa fan, if I was a Villa fan, I'd be very disappointed for this season.
Yeah.
That Leon Bailey's done nothing, has he?
No.
Big money signing.
Injured. He's been
Yeah.
injured a lot, mate. That's why he keeps picking up injuries. But he's always been known to be injury prone. That's why they got him. Because they could afford him because he was injury prone. So I think it's a bit of a mistake because it takes a while to get going again.
Yeah. Watford Burnley, guys, that's a big game. Massive game.
I'm going for a Burnley win, possibly 1-0. Eke out the results and put Everton in the doldrums. I'm afraid that's going to happen.
Rob?
Doldrums, is that the new stadium?
Yeah.
Is that what they're going to call it? The doldrums? Well,
Oh, no. Sorry?
What do you think's going to happen there? The Watford Burnley.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Billy. I think Burnley will get up. They've been playing the better football, like Trish said a lot earlier. Watford just aren't good enough. Again, Roy Hodgson can't hammer him too much. He's been given a lot to do in that space of time. Performing miracles is hard at that stage, especially when you've got a squad list the way you do. But I got to agree with Billy. I think Burnley will get the win there. I'm
just going through the pertinent games. How about Leeds Man City? That's going to be a humdinger of a football match on Saturday evening. They have no love lost, them two.
No, I still think City have got too much for them, though.
Yeah.
Leeds have got a couple of cracking players. They have got a few players really good, and they are fighting for their lives. But City can't afford to lose, and they know they can't, or draw. Anyone who drops a point, it's going to cost them the league. I think it'll be a pretty comfortable evening for the Manchester City.
Hey, Billy,
I think. Sorry.
Go on, Rob. Sorry, mate. No, go.
No, just quickly, I think they're going to sweep Leeds aside pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
Tristan? How do you think the game's going to go? Not predictions in terms of score, but how do you think the game's going to go?
City will play their usual game. They'll take it to them, and they'll pass it around, and then they'll pass it around some more, then a little bit more, then a little bit more. While Leeds, well, they just. I'm not convinced by them in the Marsh at all. They don't look good to me. I'm thinking they've made a mistake there just because he's a nice guy and he's American and they've got the 49ers involvement. And that's where this comes from. They want an American involvement. They're trying to they're aiming for the American market, and that's all it's about.
Gotcha.
And I think they've made a big mistake there, and they're gonna he'll end up. He's not going to last much longer, in my opinion.
Gotcha. And those two, they both desperately need the points for differing reasons. So this could be something else. This game, I'm definitely going to be watching that. Tristan, I just want to get your take on the Watford Burnley game. How do you think that's going to go without giving us a score prediction?
Watford will play to keep it tight because that's the way Roy Hodgson does, and Burnley will just. Well, they'll be Burnley, won't they? They'll be throwing it down the centre and hoping to get a head on. And it's not going to be a good watch, is it? Let's be honest. It's not going to be exciting, but it'll be a hard-fought battle. Whoever wins it will probably deserve it.
Such an exciting weekend of football, Premiership football this weekend. And on to the Sunday game, guys. Bill, let's start with you. Everton Chelsea. What do you think's going to happen there, mate?
I think it's going to be 0-3 at Goodison Park.
No
way. I'm telling you, I'll tell you why. Chelsea are far better away than what they are at the Bridge. And
I agree with you. I agree.
They will score pretty early on for me, and Everton will be chasing the game, which they can't do. And I think it might be a little bit of an embarrassment. A 3-0 win for Chelsea is my prediction. I wish I didn't predict that, but that's me head ruling my heart.
Fair enough, mate. Rob?
Yeah, Chelsea. I think Chelsea will get the chocolates over there. Everton, like we've spoke about earlier, they're gonna, they're in a rut. They're struggling. They look pretty damn likely to go down. I think the misery will continue at Goodison Park. But while we're on the topic of Chelsea, there's just one thing I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, mate.
So Antonio Rudiger's decided he wants to leave at the end of the season. Now, I don't know if I watched the wrong sport, but what is the fuss with that player? He is I do not rate him at all, and there's talks, there's so much media attention about where his next club's going to be, and then all of a sudden there's talks of Real Madrid making him one of the highest paid defenders in the world. And I sit here reading this and I'm seeing it, and I see him play, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, how can this man be so sought after by such big clubs like that to offer him that much money? What has he done? Okay, I understand Chelsea are the current European champions. Don't get me wrong, I can't discount that, but at the end of the day, it's a team sport. So when I'm focusing on the individual as a player, him specifically, I don't know what people see in him at all.
Oh, thank you.
And it just rubs me up the wrong way.
I've been saying that all along. No, I've been saying exactly the same thing as Rob all along. He's positionally, he's woeful. He's one of those. He reminds me of Sol Campbell. He was another massively overrated player. They get out of it because they're quick. But they make so many mistakes and they put the team in so much trouble because of their poor judgment and their poor positional play. Not a good player at all. He's massively overrated and he can't pass either. They'll be better off when he's gone, I think.
And they'll be signing the guy from Sevilla, right? The guy, what's his name? Kunde, yeah, he's a fantastic defender.
Yeah, exactly. I can see Chelsea do. This is what I wanted to ask about. Actually, I was glad Rob brought that up because I wanted to ask about Chelsea. Where do we see them next season? Because I think they might actually, if they keep Tuchel, I don't think they'll be their third again. It's as simple as that. That's the best they can hope for. But if they improve, bring in a better manager than Tuchel, one who's actually got a chance of taking them further, I think they could well be, they could well push the top two.
I can't see him leaving. I think he stays.
Yeah, I think he stays. He's already said he's staying, right?
Good, then they'll stay third.
Because I don't see the new owners are going to want to make a statement. They're going to spend money, so if they're going to be strong, they're going to be there or thereabouts with the right, as you say, with the right tutelage and coaching. So they're going to be an interesting proposition next season because they're going to bite.
Not if they keep Tuchel. He's simply nowhere near the same level as Klopp.
I thought you were going to do better this year, to be honest with you, Chelsea.
They should have done.
I thought they'd be running Liverpool and Man City a lot closer than what they did.
Yeah.
The issue's Tuchel. He's not good enough. Their style of play is abysmal to watch. They're boring, they're tedious, and he's just not that great a manager. I said this when short term brilliant. He brings in, he creates a lift, but long term he just they just get gradually worse and worse and worse. His teams, and that's what's happening
Wears you
now.
down,
Yeah, he's just he's a short termist.
What's still blowing my mind is the fact that they went out for a striker in the end of the season last year, and they spent 100 mil to bring back Romelu Lukaku. What in the hell has happened there? 100 mil, man.
It's not just that.
He doesn't even want to play.
But you look at their recruitment over the last few years, and it's been awful. They've got the best youth system in probably the world right now, and they have had for 10, 15 years. And yet, how many players have come through from it? Mount is probably the only one, really, to be a regular first choice player, and yet so many of the other players have gone elsewhere and become great players. And you're thinking, why were they not given a chance there? They were better than the players they had.
The Palace captain, he's a player.
You talk about Guay or...
Yeah, Guay,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's better than Rudiger, in my opinion.
Spot on.
Why let him go? I mean, it's just the decisions and transfers have been abysmal there. The guy they let go from the right as well, Livramento. I know people rave about James, but I'm sorry. The one who went to Southampton, I'm sorry, but James is, again, ridiculously overrated. He's a bit of he's brash, he's a wild cannon. He can have good moments in a game, but most of the time he's all over the shop. He doesn't have the intelligence needed to be to get the consistency. He might well develop it because he's got ability, but I just don't think he's as good as people make out right now. I think he needs years to develop, and they needed someone to replace, to cover for him and replace him. Livramento would have been the perfect rotation option when you play in the three. When you play in the back three, and you need wing backs. But instead they got rid of him, and they didn't have an option to replace him. When James is out injured, and the same on the left. Chilwell gets injured, they've got nobody on the left except that freaking useless Alonso. What's going on when they've got all these great players out on loan? It's such a... I know people rave about how well they're run, but I think they're appallingly run at the moment. They have been for the last few years.
And they bring in, highlighting what Rob said, they bring in two strikers worth £150 million. And they're both useless. It's like Werner cannot score an open goal. It's not in him. He cannot tap it into it.
I still can't believe the Lukaku situation.
No.
How much they spent to bring him back for this to unfold. If I was a Chelsea fan, I would be absolutely ropeable.
But you've got to ask why they brought, who was it that pushed to have him back? I don't understand. He upset them last time when they got rid of him. So what nerve possessed them to bring him back? There's some seriously bad decisions going on.
What's even more startling is that they can afford to swallow £150 million worth of bad transfer mistake, and still go out and buy and load more.
Yeah, because they're selling all their good young players rather than just playing them and being a better side. I don't understand that. They're using it as a money-making machine, the academy, rather than as a first and foremost to feed the first team. And they're just using it to make money by sending them out on loan to pick up, because they're getting money. You remember, they're getting loan fees and the wages are being paid for all these players out on loan. You know what I mean? They're getting huge amounts of money for them. So that's all it seems to be about, rather than trying to get the best players for the team possible. It's bizarre.
They can look to do for next season is integrate when Conor Gallagher comes back. I think he's got to have a good shot to have. Yeah, he's got to have a good shot to go into that team. He looks
a player, and he does look a player.
They can't
has
possibly
a great
allow him
season.
to go.
Yeah.
They have to integrate him, and the stupidity is they should have integrated him this season.
Yeah.
He showed last season he was ready. He was ready for the run in the Chelsea team. He was better than that Kovacic and Jorginho. Shit. So
Yeah.
I mean, we Murder would be better than Jorginho. and she's in her 60s, 66 now, so I couldn't kick a ball when she was a kid, so that's...
She told me she was 34 last time I saw her.
No, that's what she told you. Don't ever believe her. She used to tell me daughter she was 21. Like, for years, my daughter used to say to me, how come your mum's younger than you? Like, she isn't.
That's so funny. Guys, I'm going to have to love you and leave you.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting my dinner here, not my dinner yet.
Oh, Billy, bloody hell. At your age, you need to be going to bed, mate.
It's been, what are you having for dinner, Billy?
Pork chops.
Nice one, mate. Mate,
Yeah,
guys, it's been amazing chatting to you guys again. I really enjoyed myself, and we'll have to do it on the regular again now.
Yeah, we can do now. It's all set up and ready to go.
Apart
from Bazard with his mute button.
Right, see you next time, boys. Thanks, Tris. Thanks, Rob. Thanks,
See you next Thursday.
And I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Billy.
Okay.
See you next
Thanks,
Thursday.
boys. Ta-ra.
Take care, all. Right, I'm going to end it now. Thank you all who's listened.
Right, love you all. Bye.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah, but
See you next Thursday, Rob. See you next Thursday, Tristan.
see you next Thursday.
Right, that's ended.